Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I am going to be giving you all of the good pool and beachside reads. These are thrillers, these are romances, these are contemporaries, these are historicals. They're all genres in this video, but the point blank period end of story is that they are the best books to read by the pool or at the beach. And yes, as you can see, I'm all decked out in my Stranger Things merch. I am Eddie Munson's girlfriend, if you couldn't tell by me wearing his guitar pick around my neck or his ring on my chain and my Hellfire Club t-shirt. I mean his Hellfire Club t-shirt. Anyway, I am in my Stranger Things girl moment, but I can't wait to talk to you guys about books today. And before we get into the books, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Let's Get Checked. Basically, Let's Get Checked allows you to avoid uncomfortable in-person visits by providing you access to at-home medical testing and professional medical consultations without ever having to leave your home. Choose your test online and it'll be delivered to you in discreet packaging with next day delivery. Once your sample arrives at the lab, confidential results will be available on your account in 2 to 5 days. These results are reviewed by a clinician and a member of the Let's Get Checked nursing team. They might call you to review your results. In some cases, the clinician will be able to provide prescriptions to a pharmacy of your choosing. Also, Let's Get Checked laboratories are CLIA approved and CAP accredited. And these are the highest ranking levels of accreditation. It's never been so simple to do these kinds of tests at home, so I will link my link down below, or you can go to trylgc.com/HaileyHughes. And Let's Get Checked is giving you guys a special offer in this video. You can use my promo code HaileyHughes. It's just the name of my channel, Hailey Hughes, easy to remember. And that code will give you 30% off the test of your choosing. So go ahead and click that link in the description and get yourself a test if you've been thinking about one, having your eye on one. And thank you again to Let's Get Checked for sponsoring. Now let's go ahead and get into the books. Obviously, you guys know what's coming first, or maybe you don't, but like if you just saw me like this, what book would you think I was inspired by? I'm gonna tell you, if you are a Stranger Things girly like me and you're having a pool day and you don't know what to read, you need to read My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. It brings all the Stranger Things vibes because it is about a group of friends and one of them gets possessed. And it is set in the 80s, so you get all those like 80s nostalgia, Stranger Things vibes. It has a little group of friends, so it feels a lot like The Show or like It by Stephen King. And it follows these 3 girls as they try to figure out what the hell is happening to their friend. It is so good, so well paced, so perfect for the summer, and just super funny and entertaining, but it also goes off and is super scary at the end. Now, if you're looking for something not as horror vibes, or maybe you don't like speculative horror, I would recommend the Last Mrs Parish by Liv Constantine. This is your typical rich people drama domestic thriller. I think it's the best domestic thriller out there, and I've gotten a lot of great feedback from my patrons and from other people who I've recommended this to that absolutely love this book. If you're into domestic thrillers, this one's great. It's also such a good, light, easy, fun pool read. It is basically a bitch I'm gonna snatch your life storyline where this little scrappy nanny comes up and sees this rich lady Daphne on the internet, and she's like,
yeah, no, like that's the life I want and I'm gonna go get it.
So she sets out to be Daphne's nanny for her children and slowly steals her life from her right under her nose. It is one of my favorite books. It is, like I said, so fun, such a fun, wild ride. The twist in the middle of this book is crazy, like Gone Girl level crazy in my opinion. And it's just so summery. I love a good rich people drama moment in the summer. You gotta read it. Next up, switching gears a little bit back into something historical. 80s and 90s books I don't necessarily think are historic, but they are not contemporary, so hello. I have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one I think you have to read in the summer. I had a friend of my mom, I had read this book on my recommendation, and they did not read it in the summertime, and both of them DNF'd it, but this summer, both of them went back and gave it another try. Both of them gave it 5 stars. Hello? Are you kidding me? It just proves my theory that this book needs to be read either on the beach or by the pool, because those are the vibes. This is following a family and all these siblings who are famous. They're like children of a famous singer. And I think it's set in the 90s. Oh no, this one's also in the 80s. It is 1983, and the Riva siblings are having their annual big blowout beach party. And on the day of this party, all of this emotional trauma and family drama is coming to the surface. It is a wild ride. It is so fast-paced, so entertaining. It brings all the summer vibes. And it also has that depth of emotion that I was looking for. This book made me cry multiple times. I think the first time I cried was at the 50-page mark, which is just, that's insane. Like, I didn't even have that close relationships with the characters yet, and already it was getting to me. This book is so good. If you're looking for something a little bit more high stakes and heart pumping, I would recommend The Island by Adrian McKinty. This book is set in Australia, and it's about this family who's traveling into the Australian bush. I don't know if this accent is good.
Oh, I think it was bad.
But yeah, this family travels into this remote island in Australia to see some wildlife, you know, take some Insta pics with some koalas, and they end up getting stuck there and having to fight for their lives. It is so heart pumping, such a great survival story, and because it takes place in the heat of the beach on an Australian island, it is so good to read in the summer. I read part of this one by the pool, and it was a great time. I highly recommend it. Next up, I have Two Truths and a Lie by Meg Mitchell-Moore. I feel like this one is so severely underhyped. I never hear anyone talking about this one except for me, myself, and I don't know why, because it is so good. I feel like it looks like, based on the cover, just like a chick-litty throwaway, you know, fluffy read, but it's more than that, in my opinion. I think this is part thriller, part like emotional character study. Basically, there is this group of like rich, snotty women on this seaside town in California, and a new girl moves to town, and of course they're suspicious of her. They don't want to let her in their group because she has some things going on that they don't know about that are kind of shady and kind of cool, in my opinion. I think getting involved with shady business is like kind of fun, kind of quirky. So anyway, it's about her trying to fit in with these ladies and also hide her secrets from them at the same time. We also follow the perspectives of the younger generation, their children. We see all the drama that's going on in this little rich people town. We see the drama with the teens. One of the teens is a YouTuber. Oh my God, it's just like, there's so many layers of drama in here. And why did I cry at this book? I don't know, but I viscerally remember reading this by the pool and sobbing and like literally having to get my pool bag and shuffle back up to my apartment because I could not be seen in public reading this book. I don't know what made me cry. I literally don't know, but it was so good. And hello, look at the cover. If you weren't convinced that this was a pool read, I mean, look at that. Next up, I have a YA recommendation, and that is Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. Now, this is the prequel to We Were Liars, which I have back there somewhere, but I would specifically recommend this one. Obviously, you have to read We Were Liars first because it gets spoiled in here, but if you have already read that one, definitely pick up this one before the summer ends. It all takes place on a beach, and it follows the older generation in the family that is focused on in We Were Liars. So our main character in We Were Liars, we're following her mom and all of her siblings and cousins and how they grew up going to this beach estate in Martha's Vineyard every summer, and the drama and heartbreak and love and loss that took place there. If you like interesting, entertaining, dramatic family dynamics and rich people drama, you gotta read it. Next up, we have another just like classic summer read. You can tell by the cover, My Summer Darlings by May Cobb. There are so many pool scenes in this book. Oh my God, I feel like every other chapter, it's a woman laying out in a bikini. So the perfect ambiance to read it is, of course,
laying out in a bikini.
But this book is a domestic thriller that follows these ladies in a town, this group of 3 ladies, and they're all good friends. But a new man comes to town and he's ambiguously single. We're not quite sure. But all 3 of them end up wanting to date him, whether they have husbands or not. So it causes a wedge to be driven between the women, and we're not quite sure who's the bad guy / good guy in this situation. It's all just like investigative work in this one. You're trying to figure out who is who, because there are also chapters, like every few chapters, where it's like somebody is in the dirt, dying, trying to reach their phone and call for help. So we know something escalates, but we don't know quite how it gets there until obviously the end. This book is so good, so entertaining. However, I did give it only a 3.5 star because of the epilogue. Read up to the epilogue and you will really enjoy it. Read the epilogue and you'll see what I mean. Next up, we have another recent thriller read, and that is One of the Girls by Lucy Clark. I recently read this in a new release thriller reading vlog. I will link it up above and down below if you missed it. This is seriously, I think, one of the best books of the summer. Half because of the vibes, half because of the plot. This book takes place in Greece. Hello? The perfect summer vibe. And it's described just beautifully, what they wear, what they eat, where they go, the scenery, the weather, the beach, the pool, all of it is in this book. So it's a perfect summer read. And we are following this group of bridesmaids that are at a bachelorette party.
Oh, sorry, excuse me, a hen party, because this is in fact a British thriller.
So we're following the bride and her little group of hens as they go to Greece, and all these secrets unfold. There is a lot of obsession. If you like Friend that turns into a little bit more like obsession stalker vibes, you will love this. There's also drama with the soon-to-be husband. Oh my God, it is so dramatic. There's so much going on. There's LGBT rep. I literally love everything about this book. Next up, I have a recent read recommendation. We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz. This is also a destination thriller that takes place on vacation. So it's perfect to read if you're going on vacation. I mean, you might get traumatized because some pretty rough things happen to these girls on vacation, but it's good for the vibes nonetheless. Basically, these 2 long distance best friends meet up every year and go on this long, luxurious vacation together. And on their trip last year, they actually ended up murdering a guy in self-defense. So they get rid of the body and they're like,
you know what? We were never here. Goodbye. You never saw us. Peace.
And then the next year, one of the girls, our main character, is really, really on edge about it. She is just scared. She's anxious. She's not having a good time. And the friend is acting real casual about everything. Maybe like she hasn't experienced any trauma at all. Maybe like the murder wasn't an accident. Period. That's where I'm gonna leave it. This one is so good. I just read it this past month and gave it 5 stars. I also have a contemporary magical realism recommendation for you guys. This is one of my favorite books of the year, and it is One Italian Summer. Yet another destination book. This one takes place in Italy on the Amalfi Coast. Our main character just lost her mother and she's dealing with the grief from that. They actually had this trip to Italy planned before her mother's passing, and afterwards she decides to go anyway and just make it a solo trip. But while she's there, she ends up running into the younger version of her mother. So she's learning all about these family secrets and her mother's past. There's some drama there. There's a little bit of romance and the magical realism elements of like her time traveling figment of her imagination mother are so interesting. And this is another one, like one for the girls, where it's like, I could read this just for the vibes alone. The descriptions of Italy. I was floating in the pool as I was reading this and I was like,
yes, I smell the Positano air. I can taste the burrata on my tongue.
It was so good. And the last couple recommendations here that are tried and true and read are romances. And then after the romances, I have some more surprises for you. My first romance pick is The Roughest Draft. Oh my gosh, this is another one of my favorite books of the year. I read it in, I think like February, and I remember the whole time I was reading it, I was like, damn, I wish I could have saved this in the summer and read this by the pool. As you can tell, there's a lot of pool scenes in here. This author duo wrote a really famous book that did really well, and then they ended up having a falling out and not speaking, but they still have one more book to write according to the contract with their publishing house. So they have to team up again and write another book. And they do that by going to Florida and staying in this house to like get in the vibes of the little summery romance book they want to write. And they themselves have a romance story. I love book within a book trope. I love romance book within a romance book trope. And it makes it even better because our two characters that are falling in love are co-writing a book. So they will like write a chapter of like basically what they want to happen in real life and slide it under the door and be like, do you think we should put this in the book? And the other person will be like, yeah, because they want that to happen in real life. Oh my God, it's so good. This book is so good. Please read it. And all the haters, shut the hell up in the comments. I don't want to hear it. And the other romance recommendation I have is Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This is the second book in the Bellinger Sisters series. It is the follow-up to It Happened One Summer, which is one of my favorite books from last year. We are following Piper's sister, who is coming to town to work on a movie that's being shot on the Washington coast in this little like fishing town. And while there, she ends up falling for her friend that she has been like texting. They've kind of been like long distance friends. And when she moves there, she realizes it's a little bit more than just friends. And he is like the local playboy. So everybody thinks she is way too good for him and he just needs to stay with his trifling behavior. But she's like,
no, I can change him. It's because of trauma.
And it's very dramatic. But I also think the mental health rep is really great. And of course, the fishing town, small town vibes are perfect for the summer. So those are all of my tried and true top best of the best pool and beach reads for this summer. But I also wanted to share with you my rest of my summer TBR. These are the books that I really want to read by the pool or at the beach if I end up going this summer. So I haven't read these. I don't know if these are like good, but I wanted to share them regardless, just to kiki with y'all. So let me know in the comments down below if you're gonna read any of these along with me, or if you've already read them and they're good, or if they suck. I don't care, just tell me. I want to talk in the comments. The first one, TikTok girls got me, okay? That's what happened here. It is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune.
Look at me playing with this like it's literally my boyfriend's ring. LOL. His fingers are just so big, like, oh.
Anyway, this is a friends to lovers second chance romance set in the summertime, as you can tell by the title, Every Summer After. And the girlies are just loving this one, absolutely eating it up, and I want to know what the hype's about. I also have Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, and this is a summer fling romance, and I think it happens, it's like set in like a beachy kind of town. Yeah, what they don't realize is that a rip current is coming and it's about to drag both their hearts out to sea. I think the girl is from a life of poverty and the man is like from this like very privileged wealthy family, so it's like rags and riches, Princess and the Pauper vibes, but in a modern contemporary romance set at the beach. Yeah, I also have Island Time by Georgia Clark, and I talked about this one recently in my TBR. This is a female-female romance, but it's not following the story of their romance. It's more of a contemporary story about both of these girls trying to get their families to get on board with their relationship. So they trick them into both going on vacation with the girls and kind of just throw everyone together and say, hey, let's everybody get along. I love the way that this is described. It says it's a sumptuous summer read that dives deep into queer romance, family secrets, ambition, parenthood, and a bird-chasing bromance. Perfect for fans of Casey McQuiston. So, I mean, that's all I really need to know. I also have That Summer by Jennifer Weiner, and this is a contemporary. It follows a woman who's kind of bored with her life, and one summer she ends up getting emails that are addressed to somebody else by accident, but she thinks it's interesting and thinks it will liven up her little boring life, so she engages in it and pretends like she's this other person, but it turns out that it's all a conspiracy and the person on the other end knows who they're actually talking to, and it's for some mysterious reason. So I'm getting summer mystery vibes from this. I also have a couple thrillers that are on my summer TBR. The first one is The Vagina Book. That's how people are referring to this book, and I think it's so funny. The Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. This is yet another modern retelling of And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, where all of these young people go to this island. One of them turns up dead, one of them goes missing, and we have to find out who is behind it all. And finally, we have The Lion's Den by Catherine St. John. I read The Siren by Catherine St. John last summer, and it was the perfect vibe to read by the pool. Oh my God, I was living for it. This one is a murder mystery that takes place on a yacht with all this rich people drama. Yes, 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 give it to me, give it to me. Also, this girl laying on the boat with what is this, blood red wine just spilling everywhere. Yes, 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 this is the moment. So those are all of the books that I recommend and want to read for this summer by the pool or at the beach. I hope you had so much fun watching this video and you got some good recommendations. Thank you again to Let's Get Checked for sponsoring. Don't forget to check out that link down below and like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to read a book and go to therapy this week. All right, guys, I will see you in my next video. Bye.